Want to create a podcast that sounds amazing without spending a ton of money on editing? Or maybe you're ready to launch your podcast, but you feel intimidated by the technical aspects of the process. I totally get it. And guess what? I have good news for you. The DIY Podcaster course has got you covered. DIY Podcaster is designed to help you become a podcasting pro without breaking the bank. With step-by-step guidance from me, your best friend in beauty, you'll learn how to record and edit high-quality podcast episodes that sound professional and top-tier, all on your own. And the best part? You don't need any previous tech experience to succeed in this course. With 7 modules plus bonus material, you'll have everything you need to get your first episode recorded and edited in just 1 week. So why wait? Enroll in DIY Podcaster today and start creating the podcast of your dreams.
Don't hide behind these veils and masks. Even a person who doesn't have vitiligo. A lot of people around the world today are hiding behind their trueness and wearing masks and wearing these veils, afraid for people to really find out who they truly are. But the moment you unleash who you are, there are people waiting for you. They're waiting to meet someone like you. And you're not, we don't do justice by hiding that person because someone needed to meet me.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Aquia Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives just like you on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. Now, on this episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, I welcome Lydia C. Rivera to the Friends in Beauty guest chair. Lydia is a new Harper-Collins children's book author, a filmmaker, confidence coach, skincare influencer, and retired decorated Navy member with a passion for film, advocating, and encouraging others to discover their confidence and self-love from within. Among her various titles, Lydia is a dedicated vitiligo advocate within the vitiligo community, whose desire is to impact the lives of others within our society positively. As a creator, she has successfully written and directed her first film project on vitiligo titled Beauty Marks. Lydia is also the owner of LC Media Productions and the founder of Confidence BuildHER Academy, offering confidence building courses and coaching with a mission to empower women to embrace their individuality, inner and outer beauty, and emerge from fear of becoming the impactful individuals they are destined to be. I had such a wonderful time chatting with Lydia. Let me tell you, at one point, I even called her Pastor Lydia because she was giving us a good word on the podcast. Fun fact, did you know that 70 million people across the world have vitiligo? I did not know that. And guess what? Lydia is one of those 70 million people. And I had all of the questions for her about it that I've never had the opportunity to ask before. In this interview, Lydia shares what is vitiligo, for those who don't know, how she struggled with confidence because of the way she was treated due to her vitiligo, the upcoming release of her new children's book, I Absolutely Positively Love My Spots, her film project, Beauty Marks, that highlights her life story, the confidence journey that she takes her clients on as a coach, skincare and makeup tips for people with vitiligo, and lots of encouraging words in between. If you needed a dose of inspiration today, then you are definitely in the right place. Lydia's resilience is truly admirable, and I can't wait for you to hear her story. Let's go ahead and jump into this chat with Miss Lydia C. Rivera. And if you prefer to watch our beautiful faces, then tune in on YouTube. Enjoy. Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, Lydia.
Thank you for having me, Aquia. Thank you so much. Glad to be here. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I was just telling you, I'm really excited to learn more about you, your journey, what you're doing as an advocate in the vitiligo, space, and talk some beauty things and confidence and all the good stuff. So I'm really excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. I'm ready to talk about it. This is what I love to do. It's what I love to talk about. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Before we do, we're going to start off with some icebreakers to get us warmed up, and so the Friends in Beauty audience can get to know you outside of what you do professionally. So the first one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
Random fact, just retired from the United States Navy. Fact, I am a mother of 4.
Okay.
Fact, what's another fact? See, give you something juicy. Although I'm a confidence coach now, I went through most of my life with no confidence at all. And that is a fact. This confidence thing is very new to me. So, yeah.
Okay, I like that. How long were you in you said the Navy? Did you say the Navy?
The Navy, yes. I served almost 14 years.
Wow. Where were you stationed mostly?
Mostly in Virginia. Never going back there, too cold for my blood. But I retired from Florida here at Patrick Space Force Base here in Florida. So yes.
Oh, that is amazing. Well, thank you for your service.
My pleasure.
Okay. And 4 children, what are the age ranges?
Whew. So I have my oldest is 17. She'll be 18 in June. I have a 16-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, and I have a 9-year-old.
I'm praying for you, girl. You got the teenagers.
Listen, I need all the prayer, okay? Send all the prayers my way, y'all.
Very vibrant ages, like all of those.
Yes, and then my older 3 are girls. So you can imagine what my house is like. 3 girls, and my son is the youngest.
Pulling his hair out.
Listen, it's something. It's something in my house, but I love them so.
Okay. Shout out to the kids. What are your top 3 favorite music artists right now?
Ooh, Jhené Aiko's my one. Jhené Aiko gives me all the vibes. Jhené Aiko, you can hear me, girl. I love you. Drake gives me good vibes as well. But I also have to go with Jacqueline Carr.
Ooh, I never heard Jacqueline Carr.
Jacqueline Carr, yeah. So she's a gospel artist.
Okay, I gotta check her out.
Oh yeah. Listen, Lydia C. Rivera gets her praise on, y'all. So
okay.
Yeah, those are my top 3.
Okay, cool. So I had these pod decks, and they have very interesting questions, sometimes juicy, sometimes weird. I have a would you rather and a what the heck. Which one would you like?
What the heck? Let's go with it.
What the heck is a very popular deck. Let's see. Shuffle it a little bit. Okay. What is this? Oh, this is an interesting one. It just popped out of the thing. Let me look at it, see what it says. It says, what would be the creepiest thing you can say while passing a stranger on the street?
What would be the creepiest thing? Like, what would I say?
Yeah.
Passing a stranger. on the streets. Let's see.
I see you tonight.
Ooh, not no stranger. I don't think I want to see the stranger tonight. Oh, let me see. Um, do you like pickles? Because I do.
They like, what, girl?
What?
Talking about? What do people always tell you that you're good at, aside from like what you do professionally with coaching people and film and all the things?
You said, what would I say I'm good at?
What do people always tell you that you're good at?
You know what? I hear a lot that I am good at. I'm easy to talk to, and I'm just good at motivating people. I hear that probably the most. Motivating people, and I'm good at, you know what? I hear this a lot too. I hear I'm good at making motherhood, business life, and everything in between looks so easy. But little do they know, I pray morning, noon, night. I have a nerve hanging, and it is not easy at all. I'm glad that people think I make it look easy, but it's not easy at all. But when you love something so much, and your heart, soul, and everything is into that, you know, your purpose, into your why, it doesn't seem hard. It doesn't seem, you know, super tiring. It's rewarding, and that keeps me going, being a good mom, you know, to be a good mother, keeps me going to be a great coach. It keeps me going to be able to help women and teenagers keep going. All of, you know, just being able to wake up knowing like I was chosen for this. This is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. That keeps me going every single day. And, you know, when it comes to being a mother, it keeps me going, knowing that they're going to college one day and they won't be in the house forever. So I gotta love them while I got them. But I can't, I'm excited for them to go to college too. So and all of that, you know, everything that I do is rewarding. I love everything I do. But I can tell anybody, you know, honestly, when it comes down to when you're, you know, focused on purpose and passion and your goals and aspirations in life, you got to really know, like, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it money? Is it for fame? Like, why are you doing what you're doing? What, you know what I mean? Like, why you get up every single day? Why do you get up every day, brush your teeth, wash your face, and get up and go out with a smile every day and give your best? Like, knowing your why, knowing like your real for real purpose. But yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love asking this question too, because it always stumps people. But when is the last time that you did something for the first time?
The last time I did something for the first time. That's a good question. Let me see. The first time. Jesus.
Uh-oh, Lydia, got to get out more.
Listen, you see what I'm saying? You know what? Okay, I do need to get out more. I do. But the last time I did something for the first time that I can think of right now was riding a horse. And that was for my 30th birthday. I know I look 22, but no, that was for my 30th birthday. I rode a horse for the first time. And I bring that one up. One, that's the first thing that came to my mind that I did for the first time. But two, also, it was a bold move for me. It was a bold move for me. And like anytime I choose to do something, I do it boldly, right? Listen, I was scared to get on that horse. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, people. I was nervous, you know, but I did it anyway. And And that's the way I look at life every day. That's how I got on that horse, this big old horse. Never rode a horse before. I never even touched one. I touched a pony probably at the petting zoo, but a big old horse, no. But I did it anyway. And I think as women, we've got to get into that place, into that mindset of just do it anyway. Do it anyway. Like, you never know until you try it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just get up on the horse anyway. You know, whatever that looks like for you, the woman listening to this, whatever that looks like, whatever you've been wanting to do, just do it. Do it anyway. Do it afraid. That's confidence. Yeah. Confidence is being able to do it anyway. Whether you're nervous, you're afraid, you're scared, but allow courage and your boldness to take over and do it anyway. And when you're done, you're going to be like, I did that. I did that. And then it gives you more confidence to do it again, or to do other things again, to take those risks. Because you never want to leave the world saying, I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I didn't.
Right.
Girl, do it anyway.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you finally just go ahead and do it, you realize it's not even as bad as you made it seem in your head. You're like, this is what riding the horse is like. Okay, I mean, it's a little weird sometimes, but you know, you get a good horse, then you're good.
That's right. Get you a good horse, you good. It's an easy ride. It was going at a good pace too. So, and that's how life is. You know what I mean? You don't have to, if it's your first time, you don't have to get up on that horse and saddle up, come out, you know, ride Sally, and it's going all super fast. Take your time. Go at your own pace. Go at your own pace. You're not in competition with no one. This is not a horse race, or this is not a race. It's your own personal journey. So take your time. You're not in a competition with anyone but you. And the person you're typically in competition with typically is the person that's holding you back from getting on that horse and doing it anyway. So don't get in the way of, you know, the potential. Don't get in the way of, you know, wanting to do the things that you love to do, wanting to go out and fulfill your purpose, wanting to, whatever that looks like for the woman listening to this, whether it being starting a business, writing a book, starting a clothing brand, a makeup brand, or going, you know what, not even just when it comes to, you know, business or that, I'm talking about relationship wise as well. Like, whatever that is, don't allow yourself to hinder you and get into the way of what's there for you, because it's there for you, it's just waiting on you. But sometimes we get so honed in and so focused on, you know, how fast it's going or how quick we need to get there, or well, she got there before I got there, but that's her journey. You don't know what she had to go through to get there. Enjoy your own journey, embrace your own journey, enjoy every moment. You'll get there, but get up on your horse and move at it, let it move at its own pace. Don't start, listen, don't move too fast. A horse get the bucket and throw you off. And that's how life comes. Life comes like that. You know, you start going through life, you know, trying to be like them or trying to do what she's doing. And no, you were born to stand out. You were born to be yourself, because only you can do it how you can do it. No, everybody else is around you looking at how in the world is she doing that? But we too busy looking at everybody else and how they're doing it. People are amazed at what you're doing.
Right.
So you keep being amazing and doing it the way you do it. Embrace your own journey. You know, go at your own pace. This is not a race, it's not a competition at all.
Absolutely. I agree with everything you just said. So the last one, if you weren't a coach, if you weren't an author, filmmaker, Vitiligo Advocate, you got a lot going on. Like, what else could you see yourself doing? Are there other things that you're like passionate about that you want to tap into maybe one day?
You know what, I will say I am blessed and grateful to even be at this place, because I didn't think I would even, be here doing what I do now, being a confidence coach, like you said, a published author, a filmmaker, speaker. Um, I never thought that I would be here, and it took me a long while to get here. So um, I have to first say I'm grateful for where I am now. I have to say that. Because life for me was not easy. Oh my God, it was not easy. I said in the beginning, one of my facts was I didn't have confidence over 30 years. Over 30 years, I didn't have any confidence. And it took a bold move. It took a courageous move for me to actually see me for who I really was and not for who the world was looking at me as.
Right.
I was born with the skin condition vitiligo. So all my life I've been teased, bullied, picked on. Think about any type of abuse. It's probably happened to me because I was born different. And for almost 30 years, I was looking at myself and measuring my own worth and my ability. I was measuring it based on society's faulty, raggedy metric system. Okay. And it is raggedy, y'all. So do not, do not measure your worth and your value upon the society and this world's metric system, because it is all jacked up. Okay. But that's what I did for years. And it wasn't until I decided to really look at the woman that I really was. Like, I'm a dope woman. Like, God did his thing with me, but I didn't realize that for 30 years. And it wasn't until 2018 when I was like, man, I love who I am. And it wasn't until 2018 until I started to discover what I was supposed to be doing with the coaching, filmmaking, advocacy. All of this is new. This happened in 2018. So when you ask me what if I wasn't doing all of these things, what would I be doing? What would I like to do aside from what I'm doing now? I am grateful for everything I get to do now, because I never thought I would be here doing it. I didn't even think I would be alive to do this. Suicide survivor, all because I was born different into this world, y'all. But I love what I get to do now. If I could do something else in addition to what I get to do now, because I love what I do, I would probably like to, I don't know, I would like to tour the world with a group of women who think the way that I think, or not even think how I think, but who just has a passion for people, to help women, to help especially young girls, because this world is a mess, having them thinking that they're not good enough. But I would like to tour the world, different countries, different parts of the world, and being able to touch these young girls who really feel that they aren't worthy or valuable. I feel like the voice that we have, we don't even understand how powerful our voices are until you do something that seems impossible. So you get up and you get out, you're like, you know what, today I'm going to Africa and I'm going to talk to all the girls in Kenya or whatever. So somebody else, they be like, girl, sit down somewhere. You ain't going to Kenya. But if you really understand how much power you have, how far you can go, the things that you could do, trust me, like what I'm saying that I would do, taking women and us going across the world to empower these young girls, someone else probably have already done it, because they got up one day and realized they had a powerful voice. And you never know how powerful your voice is until you use it. You never know how powerful it is until you use it. 2018, I used my voice, and here I am today. I haven't even touched the surface. I'm barely on the surface, but I can't wait to see what God has in store. So, yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know that somebody definitely got something from that, because I'm over here. I got chills just hearing you talk. Where are you from?
I am from Georgia. I'm from a little town in Georgia. Yep, I was an Army brat, so my dad was in Georgia, Fort Stewart, but I like to claim Hinesville as, where I'm from. So Georgia.
Okay, Georgia. So you went to Virginia. You were stationed in Virginia. You said it's too cold. I'm in DC, so I'm like, I totally understand about the weather you're talking about. And then
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I am in the Sunshine State and I'm not leaving.
So when you were in the Navy, like what was your role in the Navy? Because you were in there for a while.
So when I first joined the military, when I first joined the Navy, I was what's called an aviation ordnanceman. So if you ever see people out there lifting bombs and guns and building bombs, that was me. I was building bombs, missiles, guns, putting them onto the helicopters. My first duty station, I worked with F-18 Hornets. So they're like fighter jets, those fighter jets that you see. I worked with them and I would put the guns and the missiles up on them. I was on the carrier, so I would also build guns and missiles and all of that good stuff. But when I retired, I did that for 6.5 years. But when I retired as a personnel specialist, kind of like human resources.
Okay.
Maybe not as exciting as being an aviation ordnanceman, but I love it.
That is super cool. I have never even heard of, never met anybody that does that type of job. And I'm just always like, I don't really know much about the military, but anytime I hear the Navy and then I hear somebody's duties, I'm like, that is not what I thought y'all did in the Navy. Like, I really thought I was just on like the water. Like I didn't
No, not always. Yeah, not always. But for the most part, yes. Most of my career in the Navy, I did a lot of, I was out to sea quite a bit. So yeah, but as much as I love like the camaraderie, I miss my baby so much. I was like, get me home to my kid. But it was good. I enjoyed my time in the service, met great people, family. I got 2 degrees out of the military, so thank you. Shout out to the Navy. Yeah, it has its perks. It has its it's good, and I'm honored to have been able to serve this country. So yeah.
Okay. So for people who do not know, please tell us what is vitiligo, and then also like how did you start to move into the advocacy work and speaking about it?
Yeah. Okay. So vitiligo is a skin condition to where the melanocytes. It's basically like the pigment producing cells in your body that makes the melanin is either lost or damaged or destroyed. So for me, in my face, I don't know if you can see it clear here, but I don't have any pigment here. And I have a couple of spots like on my arms where there's no pigment, but mainly here, I have no pigment at all. And I noticed, my mother noticed I had no pigment or I had this mark on my face when I was about a day old. So I was just a baby when they noticed it. So it was like 1 day old. And she was like, it was lighter and then it just started, spreading and getting really, 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 really bright. So I've had it for almost 37 years. I've had vitiligo. I don't know what it's like to live without vitiligo. So yeah. So now, what was your second question?
How did you determine, or when did you come about like the advocacy work and wanting to speak out about it?
Okay, so that came about 2018. 2018 was a great year, y'all. 2018, I moved. I got stationed from Virginia to Florida, and I used to cover my vitiligo all my life. Like I would wear makeup, I would wear hair, hats. No one knew I had vitiligo, not even those in the military I worked with. They had no clue. And so 2018, I moved to Florida and I was like, oh, this sun hit different. My makeup is running in my eyes, it's burning, and this is not gonna work. So I think that was just kind of like the first thing that was like, okay, it's time to reconsider the makeup But when I moved here, I met people that were in the vitiligo community. I wanted to learn more because I never really tried to look into vitiligo because I was so ashamed of it. So I really lived a life pretending like I didn't have it, but clearly I have it. So I met people in the vitiligo support groups, got connected, really saw what they were doing, meeting great people with the same skin condition. I never knew anyone who had a condition that I had when I was growing up. So I met one particular person and she has changed my life forever. I don't know if you know who Amy Deanna is. She was the first CoverGirl model with vitiligo. And so me and Amy, I connected with her and I told her, hey, I have vitiligo and your confidence is so amazing. I saw her on a commercial for CoverGirl and I reached out to her and she was such a sweetheart. And we got on the phone and I told her, you know what, I want to go live with no makeup on. And she was like, I'll be on live with you then, girl, let's do it. What are we waiting on? And we went live on Facebook and the love and support that I got, I was like, what? I was expecting a different reaction. Like, oh my God, girl, cover that back up. You look good with the makeup. But no, they were like so just supportive and loving. And the reaction I got, I mean, people were in my DMs like, girl, I wish I had the confidence like you to do that. And people who I didn't know had vitiligo were telling me they had vitiligo. Or people that, yeah, like people that were dealing with things and I had no idea. And they were like, you know, you have motivated me, inspired me to love myself and da 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 da. I'm not covering my vitiligo no more. And I was like, yeah, you're right, that's what I said. And it was just so amazing to see how one act of boldness, like I talked about before, one act of boldness impacted so drastically. I mean, women, men, children. And I was like, what? I did, Lord, did I just do that? And it from that day on, me and Amy Deanna have been friends to this very day. And that same positive impact and the support that I got just really wanted me to be able to help other people just go out and be themselves and love themselves and don't hide behind these veils and masks. Even a person who doesn't have vitiligo. A lot of people around the world today are hiding behind their trueness and wearing masks and wearing these veils, afraid for people to really find out who they truly are. But the moment you unleash who you are, there are people waiting for you. They're waiting to meet someone like you. And you're not, you know, we don't do justice by hiding that person because someone needed to meet me. There was a woman who was contemplating suicide, and she's an older woman. And she said to me, I watched your live and I thought about taking my own life because I don't like my skin. And she said, but after watching your live, I have this new perspective on life, on herself. You know, she was just, you know, that right there really did something to me. And it allowed me, you know, to use my voice, that voice I tell you that we have that is so powerful, to let people know that we don't need to blend in to stand out. Like, enjoy being the confetti at the party, like a party and a party. If the confetti ain't there, the colorful balloons aren't there, enjoy being that. You know what I mean? Like, so that's how I got into advocacy. Just basically taking off the makeup. Amy Deanna, first CoverGirl model, her and I still friends to this day. And it really just ignited this fire in me. And from that point on, I have been advocating for vitiligo. I have written a children's book that was picked up by Harper-Collins, my first book deal. I am so grateful for that. First children's book about vitiligo, where the actual character has vitiligo. I have a film out, Beauty Marks, which is about vitiligo. I go around all over talking about this condition that I believe is truly a masterpiece. I mean, God was like, I don't know if I should make you brown, white. He just gave us all these colors. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. And we all are different, whether freckles, dimples, we're all different. And we just have to embrace that.
Absolutely. When it comes to vitiligo, because I've never actually had, like, I've seen people with vitiligo. I think I've had one client I've been a makeup artist for 10 years. So I think I've had one client ever that had vitiligo, but I never get to like ask the questions. So I'm going to ask you all the questions because I'm a naturally curious person. But like, I know that it's an autoimmune disease. So with that, does it come with other health challenges, or is it just purely just the skin?
No, it's it can come with other challenges. Because as you said, it does affect our autoimmune. So there are people who deal with may have thyroid problems. For me, I have a vitamin D deficiency. So that's something that I kind of struggle with. But it affects everyone differently. There's some that don't have any autoimmune issues, and there's some that have very detrimental autoimmune issues. So it can affect you, your autoimmune. It can. So that's why it's important that, we have to wear sunscreen every single day. Make sure we're putting on our sunscreen, make sure we're eating properly. And that goes just, for everyone, right? Eating healthy. But yeah, it has this challenge. I don't even want to say it's challenges. Like I said, it's something that a lot of people can deal with. A person can have an autoimmune disease and not even have vitiligo, right? But with vitiligo, that is one of the things that can come with having the condition. But other than that, it's not contagious. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't, there's not even really a cure. Now there are cures they talk about. I don't know of one that I've known to be truly effective, but there's no known cause for it. There's no cure for it. They'll say stress and all of those things here can cause it to spread more. And I've heard from some of my community that, they've noticed that like stress causes their vitiligo to spread. I have what is called focal vitiligo. So it's basically in this one area, but you have others who have, segmental vitiligo, things like that causes the spread. And so yeah, there are challenges. I think honestly, if I can be honest, when it comes to the skin condition, the main challenge that we deal with the most is mental and emotional. Yeah. It's mentally and emotionally a challenge. Because you're walking around here with two-tone skin colors, and you have some people who are just rude and they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to treat a person who has vitiligo. So that's why it's important that we spread awareness and educate people, because when they don't know how to handle that situation when they are confronted or, come in contact with someone who has the condition. So mentally and emotionally, that probably has been like the worst. As a kid, I was bullied. I was not the popular girl. I was not the girl that had all the boys chasing her because I was different. But I feel like Mike Jones now, because back then they ain't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me.
The thing about that too was like, I feel like it's like timing as well, because I just feel like the society that we live in now is just a lot more accepting of people's differences and everything like that. I can't for the life of me understand why somebody would tease somebody for having vitiligo. That's just me. but the world itself has just become a place where like it's like anti-bullying, like if somebody's different, you're messing with them, like you're gonna have a whole bunch of people like down your throat if you're doing that. I just can't for the life of me, like, what is there to tease about? Like,
Listen, they find a way, like I said, people don't know, they don't know how to react or what to say, you know what I mean? And I love where the world is going. I love how we're moving, where, like you said, people are more accepting now. And that's beautiful, but there's still a whole lot more work to be done because there are still I still receive those emails and those direct messages, those DMs from people who saying my daughter's being picked on. Can you talk to her? My son got in a fight today because of his skin. Can you give him some encouraging words? I still have women to this day saying I have a tough time dating because when I show my hands, the guys, they, remove their hands from my hands because they don't want to touch their hands. So it's still a lot of work to be done. Are we making progress? Absolutely. We have great advocates out there advocating for the vitiligo community. Shout out to oh my goodness, Winnie Harlow, the model, who is really breaking a lot of barriers and really doing her thing for the vitiligo community. A lot of advocates out here, but it's still a lot to be done, especially for our children, because again, kids can be cruel. But again, if they don't know, we don't educate them, they don't know how to treat other children, and that goes for adults too. I still get those messages from adults having to deal with harsh and negative words and the stares. If you ever talk to anyone who has vitiligo, that one thing that we can't stand is people staring. And you're like, just ask me the question. Ask me what's on my face. I promise you, I'll tell you, I'll give you a whole synopsis on vitiligo. But they'll just stare. And it takes everything in, I'm going to speak for me, everything in me when there's an adult staring, for me not to be like, what's going on? Like, just ask the question. But like I said, it's a lot of work that still needs to be done. And even if you don't have vitiligo, even you having this platform, it's amazing. It's needed and very much wanted and appreciated, so that we can begin to have the conversation, even though people are more accepting and more receptive. It's still, still a lot of work to be done. So I appreciate, us having this conversation. Ask me all the questions. That's all.
I got you, girl. So I feel like the people that I know with vitiligo, they developed it like later on in their life. I didn't even realize that, of course, that people could be like born with vitiligo. When did you first notice that you were different? Like around like what age did you, or were you made to feel like, oh, like what they talking about? Like, oh, this?
Right. So when I was coming up, I grew up in Georgia, small town, country town, and they didn't know what I had. They didn't know the medical term for my skin condition. So they would call it a birthmark. Oh, that's just your birthmark, girl. This is a birthmark. And so I just went around, as a kid, like, it's just my birthmark. It's just my birthmark. But even though I was saying like, it's a birthmark, like, don't you got a birthmark? I think I noticed that me looking at my birthmark was not how others were looking at my birthmark at the time. I think that was probably in my younger ages, like around say 7, 8, 9-ish. Because kids at that time, it was rough. It was rough, it was just really rough. Again, I never heard about vitiligo until I became an adult. So the advocating piece wasn't happening when I was younger. I even remember one point in time, like going to school and one of the teachers telling me, you need to take that Band-Aid off of your face in front of all of the kids. And I was like, oh, Miss Ma'am, what? And that was really embarrassing and humiliating, right? So then if you have a teacher doing that, the kids thinks it's okay, right? So therefore I started being called things like Dalmatian, Scarface, Two-Face, Gremlins, Spot, like all of these different names every single day. So that's when I knew, oh, something must be wrong with this birthmark that my mom told me was pretty. Like, my mother must have lied to me, because everyone are calling me all these derogatory names, and I'm trying to just get through school without having to fight somebody, because they were that cruel. They were that cruel. So yeah, in my early elementary years. Yeah.
That is just beyond me. I don't know. I think I grew up as like the person that protected people who were different. So for me, it just doesn't register in my head. But I was going to ask you something. Oh yes, the confidence piece, because you said you struggled with the confidence over the 30 years. I know that your mom told you it was a birthmark and everything. I'm sure she was nurturing, but like, where does the lack of confidence come from? Or like, what was your family or your mom doing to try to like still instill that confidence in you, but then you're going to school, then it's kind of like being like shut down? Like, what was that kind of duality, I guess?
Yeah, so I think I want to say that my mom tried her best to make me feel comfortable in my skin. She would, say, it's just a birthmark. They don't know what they're talking about. You're beautiful. But even as an adult, I don't even think that you really believe you're beautiful until you believe you're beautiful. It doesn't matter who else around you are telling you that.
Mm-hmm.
If you hear from your mom, you're like, Mom, you gotta tell me that because I'm your child, right?
Right.
Because everyone else around me is telling me that I'm not. So one of y'all lying to me. I need to figure out which, so she tried, but that confidence piece really came from within, because that's where it comes from. Again, everyone in the world can tell you you're beautiful, but we can be our worst critics. We can tear ourselves down more than the next person. We'll think everyone is looking at us, talking about us. They ain't even paying us any mind, because our mindsets, we have to be able to begin to shift the way we think. Not only how we think, but how we think about ourselves. We got to shift perspective, not only see or try to be other people's eyes, trying to see what they see in us. You got to be able to use your own perspective in your own eyes and see who you really are. So the confidence for me was a journey. I had to go on a journey. I think everything that happened to me, everything I was able to experience, I believe I had to experience that, not only to pay it forward and to be able to help others who've experienced it, but also to really build up that resiliency in me. One thing I do love about the woman that I am, the kid, and even the little girl that I was very resilient. People tried to break me, and I'm telling you, I probably, oh my God, bend way more than I needed to bend, but I never broke. And so it built this resilient, strong woman. And I know people these days are like, oh, we live in the soft life. Well, I only know how to live the strong, resilient woman life. That's what I know. And that strong, resilient woman has gotten me to where I am today. I love this woman. I wouldn't change this woman. I wouldn't even change the things I had to go through. It was a part of my journey. It's a part of my story. I just wouldn't change it. I love the confidence. And the thing about it is, when we think about confidence, we think that it's an exterior thing, but it's really internal. Confidence is really how you believe in yourself. Like how much do you trust and firmly believe in yourself and in your abilities, in your capabilities. See, self-esteem is when you begin to, how do you perceive yourself? How do you see yourself as beautiful, as this, as that? That's esteem. But that confidence, that ain't got nothing to do with the exterior, baby. That's all internal. It's all about how you believe in you, how you get up every day and you put on that smile, you make sure you fix your crown every day, and you wake up and you walk out boldly, confidently, courageously to do everything you want to do, because life is about choices and decisions. We have to stop allowing the world and others to decide and make our own choices. And we gotta decide for ourselves what makes you happy. What is it that you want to do? That's becoming self-aware. Be aware, know yourself better than the world tries to tell you who you are. That's the problem sometimes, is we don't really know who we are. And we're trying to find ourselves in the world. You're trying to find yourself in social media. You're trying to find yourself in your friends. But who are you? Because we sometimes, we talk about that mask earlier. We put on this mask in front of everybody else, and we go home trying to, still scratching our heads like, girl, who was I today? I don't even think I even like tuna tartar, but I ate it. Like, girl, what do you like? You like cheeseburgers, and you eat you a cheeseburger, honey. Like, you don't have to fit in when you were born to stand out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I have a kind of messy question to ask.
Okay, let's hear it.
I mean, it's kind of messy, but I'm just curious to know, from somebody that has vitiligo, do you think that Michael Jackson really had vitiligo? Like, his whole body?
Yeah, I do believe he had vitiligo. I do.
Okay.
I do. Now, do I feel like, because I know people who have lost all pigmentation, 100%, went from Black to white.
Got you. Okay.
I know them. Do I think he had it? Yeah, I do. And I think, honestly, again, it being a mental, emotional thing that affects you. I think that mentally and emotionally he was affected by it, which may have caused him to make other alterations.
Got you. Mm-hmm.
But did he have vitiligo? I do think so, yeah.
Okay, because I was
People
just
ask me that question all the time. It is kind of messy, but you know.
no, because I'm like, because like the people that I've seen, because I'm taking your word, because you like, I've seen people who have lost complete pigment. I've never seen that before personally, so I'm just like, the people I've seen with vitiligo, they didn't have it like how he had it. So I'm just curious to know if it was cat or.
Nah, I think he did, but you know, we honestly will never know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll ever really know. So
yeah, I'm just nosy. Look, I'm just nosy. I do want to like circle back to beauty marks. You were telling us about beauty marks. I did watch the trailer on YouTube, and I was still like, what? Like, people are really that cruel out here? It just makes me really so sad, because I know the type of person that I am, and I don't even think that I would be able to withstand that kind of treatment, just because of the way that I naturally am presented. Like, it's something you can't control. So watching the trailer, I was just like, wow, I just can't believe that people are this cruel. But can you tell us a little bit about the film that you did, Beauty Marks?
Yes, Beauty Marks. That right there is, that was honestly like the gate opener to advocacy for me. I said to myself, I'm going to write a book about my life. Because when I tell people to this day, about my life, they're like, girl, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And I'm like, yeah. And Beauty Marks, it is based on my life story. So all of those things that you see in the trailer itself, I've experienced. So, and it is because, I was born into this world different. And there are other people who have experienced similar situations that I personally know, because they have vitiligo. But it was important that I make myself vulnerable and transparent, because what I do believe is, I do believe that I'm a hope dealer, and all of us, we all have a story, and we all can deliver hope to somebody who have gone through things that we've gone through. And we just got to be vulnerable. We got to be transparent. We got to be bold about it. And, you know, I put out that the trailer because it was initially supposed to be a book, but, you know, someone was like, hey, I want to help you make this a trailer. And I was like, what? Okay. No, and it was supposed to initially be a film. And it will be. It's coming, y'all. It is coming. Listen, I was telling you the power of our voices and the power of the tongue is powerful, y'all. So y'all speak it. But it's coming. It is coming. The Beauty Marks, the full movie, it's coming. But the trailer alone, that's 3 minutes and 16 seconds, will change your whole, like, oh my God. You're gonna go through like ups and downs, even in those 3 minutes and 16 seconds.
Yeah.
But the purpose of it, yes, the purpose of it was to really get people to see what it's like for us living with this skin condition. Mm-hmm. Like, we are normal people and we go through normal things, you know. We're normal people. And everything that another person who doesn't have vitiligo has experienced, we experience those things too. But for me, it was because I had this condition. So it's important that I use my voice for the people who have the condition, the children, because it starts from like where I'm like, well, where the little girl's from a little girl until she's an adult, and talking about her and her relation, like, you know, just 3 minutes and 16 seconds, you're like, oh my God. But it's a powerful project. It's a powerful project that I feel like a lot of people need to, you know, should watch just to get that hope. Mm-hmm. And that courage to really understand that your past doesn't define you. There's so much beauty in the future. You just got to first see how beautiful you are. And when you see how beautiful you are, you unleash something so others then begin to see how beautiful they are. Because like at the end, that whole reveal, and it's like, oh my God, girl. Yeah, so if people get a chance, it's on YouTube, Beauty Marks. Go watch it. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I'll definitely link it down below in the description, the show notes, for people to go watch it. They got to see it. And we look forward to seeing, you know, the full capture of it.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Stay tuned. So I have a question for you. What did you think about it whenever you saw Beauty Marks?
I was shocked. I was shocked because, like I said, I just can't believe that people can be so cruel, and then like the treatment of somebody just because of them being different. Like, we're all different in some kind of way, so I just can't imagine somebody picking something off of me that's different, and then like what gives you the right? I just don't understand. Like, all in this, like you said, we all go through the same things, we breathe in the same air, we have the same kind of similar experiences. So it's like, what gives you the right to just be the judge of somebody when you can easily be judged for something, anything, at any given time, just based off of whatever somebody's standards are, whatever society has like bred us to believe is beautiful, or the standard or the box that we're supposed to fit in. It just
it happens. It's crazy. But it happens all the time. It's you know, but that's why it's important that we begin to encourage each other, especially our children, instill into them how beautiful that they are, because we really are. Like, we really are beautiful people. We all have our own different characteristics. You know, you even mentioned how you were the one who were helping the other people who were different or disabled or whatever. That goes to show you have a beautiful heart, and you have a very compassionate compassionate at heart, very compassionate. And that characteristic alone speaks about who you are, not necessarily your outer beauty. It's the character of the person, of the individual. Are you beautiful outside? Absolutely. But I think that we all are. I don't think that we should really, and honestly, this is what I believe, like society will paint a picture of perfection, but there is no perfection.
Right. We are all
There's no perfection. Absolutely, imperfectly perfect people. And the problem where I believe that the problem is that we don't love each other or respect one another. And I think love and respect will take people a long way. You just learn how to love people where they are, love people how they are, respect people no matter what, because you can't change no one. Like, you can't change people. People will be who they are. But we can begin to, change how we deal with the world and all this craziness in it by how we treat people. So we can only do our own part, right? It's to treat people right. Like you said, who am I? Anyone listening, like, we are not judges.
right.
And we got to remember, like, how would you feel if someone treated you and then you ask someone that and they'll say, girl, I don't be caring what people say about me. But deep down inside, you probably go look at yourself twice, like, you know what she did say?
Right.
Like, come on. You know what I'm saying?
If you hear it often enough, then somebody, just as a human being, you're going to start to believe, like, well, if 20 people are saying this, then it might possibly be true. So it's easy for people to say that when they're not in that situation. That's somebody chastising them every single day, but we're
Exactly. Exactly. So
yeah. Well,
more of the story, love yourself and love others, y'all. It's more of the story.
well, I have a never have I ever question for you.
Let's do it.
So if this has happened to you before, you can share, I guess, like the backstory or whatever. I don't even know how you would share it. But anyway, you can share like the backstory behind it. If not, give your advice to someone who may be like thinking this way, like currently.
Okay.
So never have I ever wished that my vitiligo was like a different shape, if that makes sense. Has that ever happened to you before? Like, okay, well, I'm okay with having vitiligo, but I wish that it wasn't like right here. Maybe if it was just like a heart shape or something, I would like think it's cooler.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, I have actually. So I feel like my vitiligo looks like a seahorse with a bubble. I feel like it looks like a seahorse blowing a bubble. That's what I feel like. And I'm like, well, maybe if it was shaped a little cuter, maybe a little cute little diamond or heart or something, maybe it'll be a little bit cuter. Versus, to me, it looks like a seahorse with a blowing a bubble in the water. So I've had that, like thinking if it was a different shape, if it was a little smaller, if it was in a different spot, I could accept it more. This was back then. But yeah, I have. Yeah. I surely have. But I still give some advice, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
My advice to you is, honey, you can't change anything. You can't change it. If you don't have control over it, you have to begin to go through the journey of accepting that. And it is a journey. I'm not saying the journey is going to be easy and pretty all the time, but at the end of that journey, of your self-discovery and acceptance journey, it is so rewarding. And you look back at yourself like, I can't believe I was not loving this person or loving these characteristics about me or loving these features. Like, I'm one of a kind. I stand out. When people come or see me, they're like, oh yeah, you know, Lydia with the vitiligo on her face. Y'all gonna have to see me. So my advice is, Stop trying to take control of the things you have no control over and begin to accept the things that you can, especially when it's pertaining to you. Because our bodies, it's like our home. We have one body, right? It's like our home. And what are you going to do to your home? Are you going to build your home up, or are you going to tear your home down? The world already is out there trying to tear it down, trying to demolish and try to break it down to build it up how it wants it to be. But you can't put your hands on what God already created. He was very meticulous about how he wanted us to look. And he don't make no mistakes. That's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. So look at yourselves, this one body, as your home. You got to live here for the rest of your life. Do you tear it down, or do you build it up and decorate it with some nice extensions, nice cute little earrings, a nice fit? But the best thing that you can wear is your confidence. So no matter what, when you get up and get out, when you put on your earrings and your extensions or whatever you want to put on to make you look beautiful, don't forget to wear your confidence, because that's what's really going to excel you. And, you know, Michelle Obama, she said a quote, and I love this quote. She says, your success is determined by your confidence and your fortitude. Your success is determined by your confidence, meaning your ability of how you believe in yourself, how you trust and firmly believe in yourself and your abilities and your gifts and your talents, what you can do. And in your fortitude, that's the courage, the resiliency that we have during adversities, during trials, tribulations, and pain. Can you get up and get out and go still be the woman that you were created and meant to be? And if you can wear your confidence every day, keeping that confidence and that fortitude, that's where success comes in, whether success being in your career, your life, relationship, finances, whatever that is. Whatever success looks like for you, to the woman listening to this, who's like, what is success? I mean, how do you even determine success? How do you define success? Well, we all have our own definition of what success is. For me, success was finding peace within. And the moment that I became successful, I believe that the moment that I became successful was when I found peace within me, and finding peace within me allowed me to find peace with everything around me, everyone around me, every situation and experience around me, finding peace with the past, finding peace with the people that tried to break me in the past, finding peace with the things I had to overcome and get through, every hurdle I've had to jump over, almost breaking ankles and kneecaps. Right. I found peace in that. So I like to say that I've almost reached my place of success, because the peace that I have within right now, I've never experienced it until now. And all I had to do is accept me, who God made me to be. And I walk out every day, the 3 principles that I walk out with and I live by: Christ, confidence, and courage. That's how I get to sit where I am right now. This is how I get to, you know, just bask in the ambiance of where I'm positioned right now, and to love what I do. And I get to do what I love: Christ, confidence, and courage. So, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. It's speaking of success, we have to circle back to this first book. You got a book deal with Harper-Collins, which is a big deal, y'all. Like a really, really like world-renowned publishing company, like in the top 5, right? So we're like really, really close.
I think they're number 2.
Number 2, see, they're up there. That is absolutely like fire. Like we're really close to the release of your children's book. So again, like tell us the name of the book, and like what inspired you to create it? Like why create a children's book as opposed to, I don't know, any other kind of book?
Because the children are our future. I mean, that's like, you hear that all the time, right? Not even like on like Coming to America type vibe. I mean, like really they are. The children are really our future, and they're sponges, and they soak up everything, right? Everything that their parents and teachers teach them, or their peers, they soak it all up. So why not soak up some positivity? I wrote the book. I absolutely positively love my spots. It was illustrated by Nina Mata, who was also the illustrator of I Promise by LeBron James. So she illustrated LeBron James's book, I Promise. Yes. And excited to actually launch the book June 6th this year. So in a couple of months, it will be officially out, and it's a celebratory ode about a little girl who has vitiligo and how she accepts and loves every bit of it. And how her confidence is so contagious that you can't even like look at her and be like, oh my God, she's absolutely amazing and everything I want to be like. Yeah. Because even as I was writing it, I wanted to capture a character that even I wanted to be motivated by, you know? So imagine a child reading it, a kid reading this, who has vitiligo, who don't have vitiligo. They're going to be they're going to learn to love themselves, learn to truly love who they are. It builds confidence. It's like a self-love letter to the child reading it. Yeah. And it was important that I wrote a children's book, like I said, because we have to teach them while they're young. If I'm going to advocate for the skin condition, I want to make sure I teach and I advocate while they're young, because when they become adults and become older, now they know what vitiligo is. Now they know what to say, how to approach. Now they know it's not contagious. Because this book talks all about that. It not only is it a love letter about this really sassy, cute, confident little girl with this skin condition, and she has loving parents that also empower and encourage her. But even at the end of the book, it's a learning. You learn about vitiligo, what it is, how do you get it? Like, it's a learning tool as well. So I'm excited. June 6th. Will be the official launch. It's actually available for pre-order right now. And so I'm super excited for it. If someone wants to pre-order, they can definitely go onto the link to pre-order so that you get it June 6th, because it will be in stores, Target, Walmart, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, all across the world. Yes, but if you order, yes, listen, I'm excited. I am beyond excited. So excited.
I can see you just like with a circle, like in the middle, like a circle of children around you, just like reading the book to them. I can totally see that.
Listen, I am so excited. That is exactly what I can't wait for that moment. I cannot wait for that moment to get kids around, reading this book to them, just seeing their faces, getting their reactions. And I know it'll be a lot of questions, and I'm excited to answer all those questions. So it's definitely a book that the children and the parents and the librarians and everybody needs to get, because vitiligo, it is a real thing. It's a real skin condition that affects 1% to 2% of the world's population. That's about 70 million people in the world that has this condition.
Wow.
So now I was able to write a book that captures a little girl with vitiligo as the main character. Like, you don't really see that a lot, like the main character. And I just can't wait to see the little girl, the little boy that gets to see themselves as the main character in a book. So
she's giving main character energy with all that confidence that she's exuding. I love it.
Yes.
Okay, I want to switch gears really quick and talk about like some beauty. Like, what is Lydia's skincare routine like? What do you do? Because I know you don't cover your vitiligo anymore. So when you do your foundation, are you just like going around? I just want to know all the beauty things. What's going on?
Yeah, so Even though I go around it, I still treat it as if it's a part of my skin. So everything that I would do to the rest of my skin, I would do to my vitiligo, except cover it up. So I don't wear foundation or concealer or anything like that. Only sunscreen. It's only sunscreen to protect my skin because, yeah, it burns easily. But as far as my skin routine, I am a sucker for natural products.
Okay.
I am a sucker for natural products. I love all natural products. My nighttime routine, it's a little long, but I love being able to take care of the skin. I don't do anything without toner. I don't do anything without moisturizer. I love it. And Winnie Harlow, she has a brand out, K-Skin, that I love.
Mm-hmm.
I love it really, because so when it comes down to the SPF and the sunscreen, I have to have a high SPF, so like 35 and up.
Okay.
And so with K-Skin, she comes through for my skin because it's a high SPF, so that's good. So I tell everyone, like, do not ever leave the house without SPF. It helps to reduce wrinkles. It really just gives the face a nice moisture to it, I guess. So when it comes to makeup, I don't typically wear foundation a lot. I usually just conceal. I don't really do a lot. I don't really, I love a natural look. I love a natural look. Now when I do, a little highlight, a little contour, but it's still, I like it natural. I don't really like the dramatic look. If I could wear, and I mean I can, but if I could just wear like natural skin every day, all day, I definitely would.
Yeah.
Some good moisturizer, some sunscreen, little lip gloss, I'm in there.
What age did your mom let you start wearing foundation, and like what was like your technique or products you were using?
Okay, so my mom did not let me wear foundation.
Okay.
I was grown. I actually didn't start wearing makeup, like makeup until like my late 20s.
Yeah, me too, girl. Me too.
Like, because I was like, this can look good. Like, I'm not gonna mess it up. But then I realized that makeup really wasn't to hide. It was more so to enhance, the beauty, right? Now, when it came down to my vitiligo, I did use it to hide. And that's when I had to change the perspective on makeup, because I was using it to hide and conceal versus to enhance.
Right.
So I would use 2 different color foundations, like 2 different color setting powders. I mean, I had so much product. I would run through so much product like in a week's time, because I would have to take makeup with me to keep covering it as it would, mess up, keep covering. I've been tried everything, derma blend, every single thing to cover it up. So it was a long process, from using the red lipstick and then using this and then using, oh God, it was now I only own a concealer, and I have foundation, but that's like on the occasion. I only use a concealer, some shadow, some brows, go give them a little lash extension, some lip gloss, and I'm in there. I think it's more important that you take care of your natural skin. Like, I'm really big on that, like toner, moisturizer, not anything that's super harsh to the skin.
Yeah.
Because so the thing about it is, like, melanin, it really, for all of us melanated women on here, we are really blessed because it allows us not to wrinkle as much. And I know this how, because I don't have melanin here. I have it here, but I have less. I have a wrinkle only right here, a line right here. So when I smile, like, I have a wrinkle here, only in the part where there's no melanin.
Wow.
No wrinkles here, but here. So ladies, melanated ladies, just make sure you take care of your good melanated skin, okay? Because the melanin itself, we're blessed to have it. Blessed to have it.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I love that. I love that. I do want to congratulate you on your new headquarters that you just got for your coaching business. I think that is absolutely amazing. So exciting. Like,
Thank you.
tell us a little bit about like the journey that you have, because you're a confidence coach. So what is the journey to self-confidence that like you take your clients through for them to have a breakthrough?
Yes. Well, I will say I am so I have a degree in psychology and all of this wonderfulness, right? So, but I am very big on experience is what qualifies you over expertise.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to my clients, I'm very, very hands-on, like very relatable, very open, very transparent, very vulnerable with them, allowing them to be vulnerable, right? So I use my story, I use my experiences, which allows them to open up more about the things that they're going through. A lot of times, people just don't have, they feel that they just don't have that and you just gotta allow them to open up. So when it comes down to me being a coach and coaching my clients, I really take them on a real life self-discovery journey. They just don't have to do it alone. Like I'm there with them. If you know, like a coach, you basically focus on the now and the future, not the past. Because what happens is when we go too far into the past, we're only just digging up old wounds. Right. Now there does come a time where you have to go back and talk about some of those things in order to heal from those things, because once you've healed, you got to move on forward. So I basically help my clients to heal from those things of the past that they never really thought was really hurting them until they talk about it. But more so focus on the now, right? A lot of times, someone else or other people, cruel people, and their negative words is what may cause a person to have a lack of confidence. Sometimes it's situations. You may have a woman who had a divorce and, maybe she was left for someone else. And now she's not confident enough to go out and date because she's thinking that mind taking control. No one's gonna want me because my ex-husband didn't want me. And you just got what I do. I take them onto this journey. A lot of times when women get married, including myself at one point in time, we get lost in our partner's identity, and we lose our own. Yeah. So sometimes I coach women into basically, not even sometimes, discovering your own personal self-identity. Yeah. Understanding who you really are. Because when you understand who you are, like no one can tell you who you are or who you aren't, because you know you too well. So we go on this whole beautiful journey. It's a beautiful journey that I get to take these ladies on, these teenagers on, and allow them to discover who they really are, so that they can boldly be that person, not caring what the world has to say about it. It's all about what you think. What do you say? What do you want? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? Of the program, there's different ways that we go about this. I have 4 weeks, 12 weeks, up to 6 months. I'll sit with ladies. I have clients I've had from the moment I started in 2021 that I still have to this day, to the point that I now coach teenage girls. Initially, my focus was on women, but now I shifted also to teenage girls, because it's a big thing. So the social media,
I'm telling you, it's we didn't have to deal with that. We didn't have to deal with that as teenagers growing up. We didn't have to deal with social media until like college, but like, oh my gosh.
It's something. Oh my God. I didn't have to deal with it either when I was coming up. Social media MySpace got to popping off, and it was like, it really wasn't, but yeah, it's a beautiful journey that I get to take my clients on. I'm very grateful for every one of them. I'm not one of those coaches who only like to do virtual coaching. I'm very personable, which is why I opened up the office, opened up the headquarters here. I'm actually working on a second space right now. So we'll see.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this has been so great. At the end of the day, Lydia, like, what do you want your legacy to be with this work?
Okay, I have to say this. I want God to be happy that I followed his instruction and I completed the vision that he had for my life.
Yeah.
That's one. I want God to be happy and pleased with me. Number two, I want all the young girls and the women out in the world who may have gone through the things I've experienced, or more or less, or just in general, to know that we're beautiful just the way we are. And when they think of adversity, or when you hear pain to purpose, that people think of Lydia C. Rivera, a little girl from a country town in Georgia who grew up in poverty, who had nothing. My mother, unfortunately, left me when I was 15 years old. I moved from here to there to everywhere you could think of, but I never broke. I bend, I did, but I never broke. And because I was so determined to help other women and other girls truly love who they really are, and that being what kept me going. I just want people to say, like, wow, like, I'm inspired. I want to keep going, because I remember, what's her name? Lydia Rivera. I remember she didn't have nothing. She tried to commit suicide at 12 years old, and then again in her life, but she survived that, and she did this, she did that, and I don't want it to be a boast about me. I want it to be a boast about what God can do if you just keep going. Just keep going and not allow the people in the world, all this craziness to leave you stagnant or think that you can't. Just keep going. That's it. That's the legacy, and for my children also to know that their mom was given many bricks, but she took every one of them bricks to build up her fort. Took every one of those bricks to build up a fort around her. Mm-hmm. To build up a fort around her, no matter what was thrown at her, she took it and she used it as building blocks until she got to the top. Because, I think that we should all strive for that, as parents, mothers, fathers, is to leave behind something for your children to say, I'm happy. Like my mom, she did her thing. My dad, he did his thing. So that will make me very, very happy to leave that legacy behind, and to have my children do the same thing, to have them go out and to do the same thing, to not allow anyone to tear down another young girl, or to allow anyone to tear down another woman, to stand up, and not only stand up, but to also encourage, empower, motivate, inspire others around them. That's what we're supposed to do. As people, we're supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. When you see where someone isn't as strong or whatever, you go to that person. You don't keep pushing them down. You grab them by the hand and you help them up. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what we're supposed to do. We're really stronger together. You never know who you are surrounded by until you really get to know people. You never know the gifts and the talents that people have. People around here, whether homeless or whatever, probably one of the most gifted and talented people, and honestly, the most resilient and strong people, if you ask me, because They are out there every day just trying to get by with whatever they have been given.
Day by day.
I know this too well. I was once homeless. I lived in a homeless shelter with my 2 children before I joined the military.
Mm.
All of these things is what helps make us stronger and resilient. And we're supposed to share our stories because someone needed to hear this today. Someone needs to hear what you have, what you've gone through. Someone needs to hear this because honestly, every last one of us, every woman listening to here has a voice that is so powerful and so profound. The thing is, you got to get in front of the right people because there are certain people assigned to your voice. See, not everybody is assigned to my voice, but there's somebody on here who needs to hear your voice. Someone on here. And I had to realize that too. I mean, I can't help everyone. Why can't I help everyone I want to? But not everyone's assigned to my voice. Not everybody has gone through the things that I've experienced. Not everybody needs the breakthrough that breakthrough that I had. Someone may need a different type of breakthrough. Well, let me help those who are assigned to my voice. So keep that in mind that there is someone, even if it is only one, that is assigned to your voice. And our job is to make this world better than the way we found it. And that's to do our part and to help other people. As women, ladies, hey, y'all, we have got to begin to help one another, to love on each other, respect each other, stop with this competition and all of this. Honey, we're only in competition with our own selves. Every day you wake up, you got to be better than who you were yesterday. Every single day. So we have got to stop being so focused on every other woman out there. They're focused on themselves. You've got to focus on you, making yourself a better woman today. That way, everyone else around you can say, wow, how'd she do that? Mm-hmm. Now you can go and talk to her and she can begin to, help. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's not tear one another down. You build each other up.
Yes.
Build one another up.
Yes. Pastor Lydia just put a word on us.
Not pastor.
I love it. I'm just over here just getting chills hearing you talk. I'm so excited. I mean, just thank you so much for just sharing so openly with us and pouring into us, because I know for sure when I listen back to this, I know I'm going to get so many gems. And I know that people listening to this, like you said, somebody's assigned to your voice. I absolutely love that. And I think there's going to be several people on here that have been assigned to your voice that are just going to eat up every single word that you have shared. I'm so excited about your book coming out and just everything that's coming for you, because like you said, you're barely scratching the surface. And just like the message and your resilience and your story, like I know you're going to touch so many lives. Like it's only the beginning and it's already lit at the beginning. So I can't wait to see everything. Yes. Before you go though, I have to ask you the Friends in Beauty rapid fire questions. So whatever comes to your mind first, just, spit it out. And some of them you kind of already answered already, so I'm excited to hear you say it again. But the first one, what are the top 3 keys to your success so far?
Christ, confidence, and courage.
Yes. How do you measure your success?
I measure my success based on what internally I desire most. And that one thing I told you was peace. I lived a chaotic life, really chaotic. And to have peace, I measured my success based on what I wanted, not what people wanted for me, or what I thought I should have.
Yes. Okay. What's the best advice you've ever received, or a piece of advice that's just always stuck with you throughout life?
Take it one day at a time.
I'm learning that myself.
Yeah, it works, honey. It works.
What advice would you give to another person right now who has vitiligo, who is just, they're not feeling it. They just ready to give up on everything and check out. Like, what advice would you give them?
The advice that I would give to someone who has vitiligo, hasn't accepted their vitiligo, is that first and foremost, you're beautiful just the way you are. God makes no mistakes. He was very meticulous when he created you how you are. So in order for you to understand that, you've got to accept that. So take time to silence the negativity that others may be giving. Silence the negativity that you're giving to yourself, as we can be our worst critics. Begin to silence all of that and begin to go through your own acceptance journey. The moment you go through your own acceptance journey of accepting who you are and understanding whose you are, that's when you begin to do the things that you are supposed to do, that only you can do. So that's what I would advise them.
Okay. What's a resource that has helped you in your business that you could share with the friends and beauty community?
Resource that has helped me is community. The resource that has helped me is community. I can't do anything without anyone else. We all need somebody. We've got to learn how to network. Closed mouth don't get fed, because somebody may have something that you may need. I may have something that you may need. But once we begin to connect, we can begin to feed one another, feed off one another. It's so much out here for all of us to be able to share. To share, we can share it all. Get you a community. Begin to network. Yeah. So community, main resource.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
So because Friends and Beauty was built off of networking and community. So that's why I'm like, yes.
Yes. Yes.
So the last one, I just want you to fill in the blank and just say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is whatever you think it is.
Okay. So my name is Lydia C. Rivera, and the key to longevity and success is you. Don't stand in front of yourself. Be you. Do what only you can do. Everybody else in the world is taken. But you have an opportunity today, not tomorrow, but like right now, to be yourself and be the best version of you, like only you can be. And there are a lot of people out there waiting on you. So take off the mask, take off the veil, and let the world see you shine for who you truly, truly are.
Yes, I absolutely love it. Before you go, please share your social media information, how people can connect with you, stay, tuned into all the amazing things that you have coming up. Just share.
Okay, so I'm on all social media outlets on Instagram. My handle on Instagram is Lydia, LIDYA.C.Rivera. I'm also on Facebook, Lydia C. Rivera. Twitter, Lydia C. Rivera. My website, where I have so much on there, lydiacrivera.com. I made this very easy. Lydia C. Rivera. Just go Google me and all of my things will pop up. And also you can go on Lydia C. Rivera as well, lydiacrivera.com. And you can pre-order the children's book that will be releasing and launching June 6th. You can also go on to Harper-Collins website as well and look for I Absolutely Positively Love My Spots. And you'll find the book so you can pre-order. The pre-order link is also on my website, on my Instagram, and we have an Instagram for the book as well, which is IAPLMS Children's Book. And it's also on Facebook as well. So I would love it if you all could go and pre-order, whether it be for you, for your child, for your grandchild, whoever. It needs to be in your own personal home library. And also take a moment to go and watch the YouTube video, the trailer of Beauty Marks. I think you're gonna drop it into the link. Okay, yeah, so please take a moment, you all. If you have vitiligo or you don't, it's a very, very powerful trailer. And the purpose of it really was to give hope. Truly it was to give hope to those that are living a life that feels hopeless, and to be a voice for those that feel as if they don't have a voice. So take a moment to go and watch that trailer as well. And just stay tuned for all the great things that I have going on. There are many things that I have going on. I would love for all of you to just stay tuned and watch your girl work.
Yes, watch her work. Yes, thank you so much thank you so much for sharing with us. And I wish you much, much, much success.
Thank you so much for having me, Akia. Thank you so much. This was a beautiful, beautiful conversation, and much, much success on all of your future endeavors, especially here on this platform. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.